Suckers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, we have a new United States Senator in South Carolina, and, it's the sister of Lindsey Graham.
And it's
Rita?
Darlene Graham. And you know what? I just want to say, John, first of all, you and I love Lindsey Graham. All of us in the room love Lindsey Graham. And to hear his sister accepted, she's sort of a placeholder interim for the next few months. There's going to be an election, all that stuff. Obviously, huge loss with our dear friend Lindsey. I went to University of South Carolina, so I know Lindsey well, fellow Gamecock. But the sister said, John, one of the most beautiful lines today. She came out and she said, Lindsey was always there for me. Now I'm going to be there for him because he adopted her when she was like 13 and both of their parents died.
He raised her.
Yes, he actually raised her. He technically adopted her because if something were to happen to him, he wanted to make sure she had like the benefits that he had. I mean, what an incredible human being.
And in the studio with us right now, we have a comeback guy who hasn't been here in a month.
Comeback.
We miss him.
I'm not working for a living.
And I'm not going to pay you for this month that you haven't been here. And I'm going to double your salary for the next month.
Okay.
We have Tony Carbonetti, the chief of staff of Rudy Giuliani and big businessman these days. And thank you. Welcome back, Tony. We missed you.
Yeah, we missed you, Tony. It's been a while.
He came back for the M&Ms.
Yeah, and
exactly.
And as we're talking
I work
about,
for M&Ms.
We're talking about Lindsey Graham, the Emir. John and I were both like the
It's
Emir
one of
of
your best-
Qatar.
I was actually in Doha in May. Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani,
Who's the father, yes,
of the current Emir, but also the father of modern day Qatar.
Yes.
They should teach a class at Harvard at how to build a country the right way. Because unlike Venezuela, which we all see has all these natural resources and has done everything wrong, okay, this is a country that he ran a bloodless coup in 1995 to take over. They had natural gas, and he turned them into the per capita the richest country in the world.
Now, we all panicked on a Sunday morning, and me and Rita, that the fact was that the Emir, age 74, dies, and Lindsey Graham's age 71 dies, that something foul was going on. So, did you think of that at all?
Lindsey was a dear friend. I knew Lindsey for many, many years. He used to joke, my wife is the daughter of a bar owner. And Lindsey says, I grew up in a bar and she grew up in a bar. So he bonded with my wife. A wonderful man, great loss. I don't know how we replace him.
Yeah, I don't know either. And one of the few
last
people,
of the three amigos.
Yeah, I was about to say one of the people were. It was refreshing, guys, and we have with us Michael Cohen, and
our new star for WABC.
Yay, bravo!
Hello.
Wait, hang on. We need some applause for you for your great show yesterday, your debut. There it is.
It's a little that applause is a little weak. Guys, can we try it again? There you go. That's like Jay-Z over at Yankee Stadium.
Jay-Z and Beyonce combined.
There you go.
All right.
And Judge Richard Weinberg, who's going to call in, David Patterson's going to call in, that the Democratic Party, there's a revolution going on from the common sense Democrats.
And hopefully it works.
Yeah, hopefully
it works.
Who's leading the charge?
Tom Swazi's
Tom
one of them.
Tom Swazi in the Congress, but we need to do stuff in places like California, Illinois, and New York.
Yeah,
you just can't rely on the congressional delegation. You need to do grassroots work in the states.
What about Michigan? What about New Jersey? What about Pennsylvania?
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. What about Minnesota?
Now, 12 now, states are going against Paramount's merger. You know why? Not because they don't believe in Paramount's merger, but they want to leave California after the merger or just before the merger because they're not going to pay California taxes.
Do you blame them? Do you blame them?
Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, look, who wants to? Now they're talking about, Gavin Newsom. Let's be serious. Now you're going to impose a billionaire tax. Everybody has basically left New York because New York has become completely unaffordable between city, state, and federal. And now with Mondani and every nonsense that he's doing, Gavin Newsom's idea of taxing every billionaire by X amount of dollars, it's the stupidest move. Because here's the problem.
And he wants to make it national.
Yeah, he wants to make it national.
Good for him. But here's the biggest
including
problem.
Tennessee.
I think the UK did that.
Yeah, they did, and it didn't work for them, and it's not going to work in America
Yeah, how
either.
did it work
Didn't
there?
work. It didn't work in France either.
And here's the reason why. When you start now turning around and taxing people in a state, you have the opportunity in America to move to another state. And if you don't like that, you can actually move out of the country if you really want to a place because you're financially capable of doing it. They did that here in New York. Every billionaire.
By the way, did you see the headlines?
Yes.
To Florida.
The headlines just now at 3 o'clock, the New York Post.
Right.
With all
No, John, I was busy doing some work for you.
With all the new taxes in New York City, $11 billion of taxable income has left. Is that the exact?
Yeah, that is
I went to
correct.
Palm Beach,
You're
Florida.
right.
Or,
I went to Palm Beach, Florida.
Or Texas.
Right.
They're moving to Texas.
Crazy.
Texas is setting up their own stock exchange.
And
So you can
Tennessee
see
as
the
well.
death.
Crazy.
You can see the death of New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, it's called Tax the Rich is the big headline. I mean, it's shock. By the way, before we move on, you guys, John and Michael, you guys were over in Lodi.
We did. We went to
fill us in
Lodi.
about this. Lodi, New Jersey.
So John asked me to come take a look at a piece of property that he owns, which is going to be developed out for
37 acres in Lodi, New Jersey, where WABC's antenna is right now.
Yeah, and they're going to expand it and so on. And the reason I think it's important for the listeners to understand is because while you're not really thinking about what AM radio really means to each and every one of us, in the event of an emergency and somebody who lived through 9/11, unable to reach my wife, my children, my family, because when, of course, you have a catastrophe, that's the first thing that you lose. AM radio is the only way within which to get information on what's going on. But what John is representing on that Lodi property, which is magnificent, by the way, in the structure that's there right now to ensure that every American, at least here on the East Coast for sure, gets the ability to hear what's going on. It is a perfect example of public and private partnership with John as an individual working alongside FEMA in a multi-million-dollar deal to ensure that you do not lose information and communication capability.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And, you know, one of the things we've talked about here on the show, guys, too, is also hurricanes. We were talking about it earlier, like, you know, when these hurricanes have hit in Florida and elsewhere, sometimes they've said the only place was AM radio. So it's a great reminder of why you want to fortify there, why you want to have AM radio no matter what. God forbid
and those
something
people
else.
who constantly say that public and private partnerships don't work, take a look at what John Katzimatidis and FEMA are doing right now in Lodi,
Wow.
New
Can I
Jersey.
tell you something?
Very
People
neat.
are talking about satellites. Satellites are the Wild West now. 20 years ago, there was, I think, less than 3,000 satellites in low Earth orbit. Now there's over 20,000. And people are, you know, they don't make Rolls Royces anymore. They're hoisting up 72 Buicks just to get in low Earth orbit and have a satellite. And when these things go down, you can't send the repairman out to fix them.
Right.
So if we rely 100% on satellites,
Yeah, we're crippled.
and something goes wrong,
Absolutely.
we're crippled.
By the way, that's the one thing we always worry, God forbid, in the event
Right,
of some
God
sort of
forbid.
terror attack or something like that. You're right. To have that as a base.
You need
to
a
have
backup.
Right. And how many times have we heard people say, I was sitting in the dark, but listening to your show?
It's irresponsible
Right.
not to have a backup.
Amen to that one. That's actually the thought I was trying to get out. I just couldn't really think of it. It is irresponsible.
Yeah, it is. You got to have it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can't wait to hear more and see more about Lodi, too. Very cool.
Well,
You know, I actually
listen.
have one more question that I'd
Go
like
ahead.
to ask your other guests. When you're talking about, for example, Qatar, and you're talking about what's going on in the Middle East, they're such an important, they're so important. The fake news that came out after the Amir's death, after, of course, Lindsey Graham's death, it's yet again why I talk about it even on my show, right? When you know, we have a fake news segment. The amount of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation that was coming out, including from Iran and the IRGC, that claim that they are responsible for a delayed poison to Senator Graham. And everybody started to believe that they also did the same to the Emir. I'm dying to get your perspective on it.
Yeah, well, the fake news. What's the saying? The fake news gets around the world in a minute, and before the truth gets out of bed or something, right?
I think it's before you get a chance to put your shoes on.
Exactly. So the emir was sickly and in failing health, and may he rest in peace. And Lindsey, they came out and said had a heart issue.
Yes,
but they can take credit for the sun coming up tomorrow.
Right,
Iran. They didn't kill Lindsey Graham. They didn't kill the emir. They're not. They're not as powerful as they like to think.
How about the fake news
about
that
the
you
Russian?
learned?
Right.
How about the fake news you learned today about President Trump running back to the White House?
Yeah. So it was interesting because right as that was happening, there was a news article about Trump being shuttled immediately back to the White House. Interestingly enough, if you look at the photo, it's raining outside. And it wasn't raining at all in D.C.
and you know what's scary,
Michael?
Michael?
We ultimately figured out that it was fake.
Michael, there was footage of it too. Like I remember because I saw it when it broke, and I went, "Oh, that's wild." And then I realized, "Oh, wait a minute, that looks like something that was posted a few days before."
Yep,
it's scary.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create this fake narrative for biological warfare. Because if they can't beat us on the ground, they're going to try to beat us in our minds.
Right. And AI and all that stuff makes it so crazy.
AI is scary.
Yeah. By the way, I met the emir a number of years ago when I went to Doha. Really amazing. The former emir. Amazing man.